In recent years, we have seen a considerable discussion, not to say hype, around a field of different technologies, mostly different forms of machine learning, commonly called artificial intelligence. Some say that these new technologies will bring fantastic new opportunities, even the solution of many difficult world problems. Others argue that there are considerable dangers, from the problem that AI and robotics may substitute so much work that capitalist societies get into deep crisis. And there are even more apocalyptic scenarios, uncannily reminiscent of many Hollywood science fiction movies, of super intelligences, machine overlords, annihilating mankind. This dichotomy between utopian and dystopian reactions regarding a new technology is a very common and usual pattern. In this sense, the discourse around artificial intelligence is totally conventional. Similar patterns of utopia and dystopia could be historically observed with then new technologies. When a new technology gets later integrated into daily routines, some of the hope for good effects might come true. Some of the feared bad effects might become real. And many things will happen that no one expected or even thought of. Think of the internet and the exaggerated hopes for a new space free of domination and capital there were in the midst of the 90s. Now the internet is thoroughly commercialized and often even state-controlled. I guess the same or a similar process will hold true with AI. Allow me a little irony. Machine overlords annihilating humanity? Wouldn't that also mean the end of capitalism? I'm sure that the state as ideeller Gesamtkapitalist, ideal total capitalist, as Engels put it, won't let that happen. As the state did not let happen digital media and the internet undermining the commodity form, etc. Be that as it may, I would recommend to wait with exaggerated diagnosis and to precisely observe the situation. We will only understand in a few years what is happening now. First of all, it must be emphasized that the human can be described as always already related to the non-human. The relations to nature, animals, gods, and later machines, etc., were always necessary to define the human, at least negatively. In that sense, we can only speak of a gradual shift when considering the relation of the human to AI. But nevertheless, there may be shifts. First of all, the somewhat metaphorical notion of non-human agency, as it is, example given, used in actor network theory, and is there in principle related to every entity, has to be differentiated. Now we have entities that in a clearly more literal sense seem to have agency. Already the experiments Weizenbaum made with his software ELIZA in the 1960s showed that people very easily begin to accept even simple computer programs as kinds of persons if they only show a seemingly interactive behavior. Secondly, if such AI systems can exhibit, at least seemingly, higher cognitive capacities, then, of course, a certain conception of the human as having only such capacities indifferent to all other non-human entities is challenged. Think of the much discussed game of Go between AlphaGo and Les Sedol 2016. For a long time, Go was, because of its complexity, thought to be a game that couldn't be played successfully by a machine. But AlphaGo bet Les Sedol, and in game 2, Draw 37 stood up a lot of surprise, since it seems to be an unexpected creative draw by the AI system. Such events obviously throw in question what cognition and creativity might be. As is already much discussed, the main challenge that machine learning systems pose is the relentless production of seemingly authentic pictures, videos, and sounds that will flood the internet. Relevant and decisive information will drown in a sea of noise. Since democracies ideally presuppose informed participants, this will, and actually does already, pose a challenge to democracy. Conspiracy theories, fake news, you name it. What mechanisms will be invented to increase the informational signal-to-noise ratio? In this sense, democracies need a mechanism of noise reduction, a political Dolby system, so to speak. Couldn't this be a task for AI systems too? Filtering out the noise produced by other AI systems? In the long range, ever more sophisticated AI systems could pose the question if also non-human actors might be part of the democratic process. Thereby, I don't mean the problematic notion of parliament of things as conceived by Bruno Latour. This notion is problematic since we have already a parliament of things. It's called the market, that can be seen as a dictatorship of the movement of things over the human, as is described in Marx's notion of fetishism. But if AI systems act as political noise reduction and moreover have analytical capacities to find patterns in large data that might be relevant to political decision-making, then they will be part of the political process. Well, if such systems will one day be non-human citizen, of course, is right now pure science fiction. Thank you for your attention.